everyone, for some more Apollo Justice, Ace Attorney here on Nintendo Switch. And we're ready to begin Day 2 of the trial on the case against Machi Tabai. And we found out some really juicy stuff in the last episode. The most important involving around a cocoon that is a source of a cure for a disease known as incuratus. And we got a little bit into some cocoon smuggling business, and Machi was about ready to say something, but Darian took him away from us, saying that he got a phone call from the Borginian embassy. Unfortunately, we weren't able to find out anymore, but we do have a pretty decent defense now in order to defend Machi, so we are going to be beginning Day 2 of the trial here. But before we do that, hope you guys have an awesome day today. Hope you guys doing well. So without further ado, July 10th, 9:49 a.m. District Court, Defendant Lobby number 2. Well, this is it. Today's the day it all goes down. And then there was yesterday. This meeting is over. Sorry. Just give us 5 more minutes. We can call him back after that. Sorry, no go. Come on, piano boy. We're leaving. Darian, wait. I never liked you. Either of you. Huh? Yeah, that's a rather peculiar thing to say. Darn it, we were so close. He was about to tell us. Hey, Apollo. He didn't want us to hear what Machi had to say. And I think I know why. Time to bring down a little justice. Eek! What was that? He is heard but unseen. Who's that talking? Valiant Grammary! I exclaimed as he walked in through the door. Normally. You! Aren't the witness today, are you, Uncle Valiant? A preposterous proposition. How could I stand to stand upon the stand? Why, my secrets would be free for the plucking. I might even have to sign autographs. That is why I intend to remain hidden for the entire day. Oh, with vanishing magic? Indeed, I will jump upon an express train and express myself to the next town over. But before I go, a word of warning. Warning? What? A grand glamour resides at the root of all that has happened. Do not forget this truth. A glamour? A spell, a sorcery, a great illusion. Miss Juicy, though it pains me to part so, I need to get in line for a ticket. Farewell. Dang. And there he goes. Sure seemed happy about that illusion thing. Oh, big illusions are the bread and butter of a magician. You can't pull off a show without one. The big illusion is always a spectacle to remember. Usually involves cutting up things like people or elephants, or the Eiffel Tower, anything really. So he was talking about what we saw at the concert. Nemora's disappearing act, and Prosecutor Gavin's exploding guitar. I wonder what he meant by it being at the root of all that has happened. Well, it's about time. Shall we go? Excuse me, sir. Yes? The scheduled starting time for the trial has been changed. The trial will not be commencing at 10:30 a.m. Sorry for the inconvenience. Huh? Did something happen? This is a first. It was by the judge's request, some urgent personal business. Great, I bet he stayed up too late last night watching courtroom dramas. Apparently he's visiting the hospital again. The hospital? I believe it was mentioned that the Chief Justice's son is unwell. Apparently his condition worsened considerably this morning. The Chief Justice's son. Oh, that's right. You remember yesterday morning the judge said he had to go visit him after the trial. There's an article about it in the newspaper, if you care to read about it yourself. Newspaper article added a court record. Article about the Chief Justice's son who was inflicted with incuratus. Oh. Incuratus. Where have I heard that before? I'll let you read that article for us, Apollo. Just leave the TV guide page to me. Try not to lose the page of the funnies if you can. July 10th, 10:30 a.m. District Court, Courtroom number 3. My apologies for the delay. Court is now in session for the trial of, how do you say this name again? Machi Tabai, a suspect fortissimo. Right. It's his trial in any case. The defense is prepared, Your Honor. The prosecution is ready to rock. Is something wrong, Your Honor? No, well, yes. It's just, I've been friends with the Chief Justice since we were students. It pains me to see him going through such a difficult time. And curatus, was it? That article said there is no known cure. Judge, let me say, with all honesty, I feel your pain. But now is not the time for tears. Now is the time for law. Indeed. We left off at quite the juncture yesterday. I asked Interpol about that number, IPXX314206. The agent registered under this number was Romain Latouche. Thanks for looking into that for us, Detective Crescent. It's a great help. Oh, no problem at all, Your Honor. I'll be heading out. Wait, that voice just now. It was him. I am sure of it. It was him? That voice I heard talking to Mr. Latouche when I heard the gunshots fired? It was him. It was Mr. Darien. No way. Quite a sensational ending. Who would have thought Darien would guest star in a season cliffhanger as a suspect? I asked the prosecution to look into this matter. Please tell the court your findings. Darien Crescent is a member of my band, the Governors. He is also a detective, making the current charges serious indeed. Yet, after investigation, I have found no cause to alter our case or file new charges. And your reason is? Weren't you aware of Forehead? He was an impeccable ally. Or has an impeccable ally, I should say. An alibi? Let us review the facts again, shall we? The concert held on the night of the shooting was in 3 sets. The Governors ripped up the stage during the first set. For the second set, our guest took center stage. The only performers appearing were myself, Namura, and Machi, along with a drummer and a bassist, for a total of 5. The shooting in the dressing room, however, took place during the third set. Namura and the defendant, Machi Dabai, had left the stage at that point, and the Governors were already rocking. This is when 2 shots rang out at the scene of the crime. Shots heard by Detective Emma Sky, mind you. And Apollo, you heard them too, right? I sure did. Furthermore, Namura herself witnessed the moment of the crime. Well, perhaps I should say she heard the moment of the crime. When she claims to have heard Mr. Latouche and Detective Crescent talking. But that's impossible. Detective Crescent was... Precisely. Detective Crescent was on stage getting his groove on, no less. Voila! A perfect alibi. Does the defense have anything to add to this? It's true. When I heard those gunshots, he must have been on stage. Still, there's something here that doesn't quite add up. It appears the defense has no objections. I believe we can safely say that Darien Crescent's alibi has been acknowledged, which means that Namura was sadly mistaken. Her testimony cannot be true. Very well. Of course, if we disregard her testimony, then I see no evidence keeping us from declaring a verdict. If indeed there are no objections... Uh-oh, Apollo. If he declares a verdict now... but Prosecutor Gavin's case is airtight. Namura might have been lying to protect Machi. Hang on a second. Sorry about that. How can I rely on her testimony? Wait, what about yesterday in the detention center? About the case? What about the case? He wants to tell us about Mr. Latouche's death? This meeting's over. The Darien? Machi was trying to tell us something. I know it. Maybe the best thing to do is ask him, under oath. Very well, the court finds the defendant, what's his name again? Objection! Your Honor! No, that wasn't it. It was something like Marquis or Mr. Justice? Your Honor, before you declare a verdict, I would like to call another witness. Exactly who else do you need to hear from? A witness who, until now, has not been given a chance to speak in this court. Because he doesn't speak English. You don't mean... I do. The defense calls defendant Machi Dabai to the stand. What? But he doesn't speak English. We'll use an interpreter. Interpreter? I'm afraid you'll have to look elsewhere. I only speak a few phrases such as I love you and where is the toilet. Defense would like to request Namura as the interpreter. The Namura? But there's a possibility she's protecting the defendant. But she'd be interpreting for the defendant. Why would she lie? This is most unusual. Bravo, Air Forehead. Air Judge, the prosecution agrees to the defense's request. If Lamoureux lies, I'll be able to tell. Even my limited knowledge of the language should be enough for that. Well, if both prosecution and defense are for this, I see little cause for refusal. Finally, some progress. Bailiff, please show the defendant Lamoureux to the witness stand. I suppose there is a first time for everything. Shall we proceed? Your name to begin with. If you would, Lamoureux. Yes. He says Machi Tabai, the defendant. This is certainly a first for this courtroom. Not that we really need an interpretation of that message in particular. So far, so good. Very well, Mr. Justice, if you would. Huh? If I would what, Your Honor? Would what? You called the defendant to the stand, did you not? What would you have him testify about? What do I want him to testify about? Okay, I haven't thought about that far yet. Apollo! Aren't you going to ask him what he was about to tell us yesterday? How can I if I don't know what he was saying? Excuse me, a moment, if I might speak? Yes, Lamoureux? Just now, Machi said there is something about which he wishes to testify. Machi wants to testify about something? What could it be? What sort of testimony is he talking about? One moment, please. This suspense is killing me. What? What? Well, Lamoureux? According to Machi, he has proof of his innocence. What? This is a surprise. Yahoo! Victory, Apollo! We did it! This is sounding too good to believe, and I know what that usually means. Well, if that's true, then this is vital testimony. Machi, please testify to the court. Very well. Witness testimony, proof of innocence. He says that word of Mr. Latouse's death came as a great shock. But if the killing truly followed the lyrics of my song, I, that is he, could not have done it. He says that because the lyrics are in English, he does not understand them. I see. He wouldn't have understood the English lyrics to the song. That would prevent him from following them so closely. I wondered what he meant by proof. Why, he would only have to ask Lamoureux to know the meaning of that song. Lamoureux, did you ever explain the lyrics of that song to him? I did tell him generally what the song is about, but never in so much detail, and he never asked. Has my oft-repeated warning already fled that forehead? Lamoureux might be protecting the witness. Well, anyway, let's proceed to the cross-examination. Mr. Justice, if you would. Yes, Your Honor. Something's hidden in that testimony, I know it. I'll just have to trust my bracelet to tell me where. It worked yesterday. It'll work today. Cross-examination. Proof of innocence. Says that the word of Mr. Latouche came as a great shock, but the killing truly followed the lyrics of my song. He says that because the lyrics are in English, he does not. He says that because the lyrics are in English.
Gotcha!
How does he know that? Machi, you can't fool my eyes. You glanced towards her at the very moment Lamoureux said the word English. Why? And don't bother interpreting that. He understands me. Machi, tell the truth. You can understand English, can't you? Well, but what are you saying? Of course he can't. Must he continue this charade? Mr. Justice, Machi says this. I know the word English. Huh? Before coming to this country, he heard me speaking English. He learned a name for this language, that is all. What? Give me a break. Is that such an unusual word to understand? Do you not know Espanol, for instance? Well, yeah, but... I'm sorry, but he truly does not understand your language. Well, then explain this. How does he know the crime followed the lyrics? Have you always been such a suspicious-minded lad? It is simple, so simple it hardly requires an explanation. He read about it in the newspaper. The newspaper? The Borginian Daily Bugle. You can buy it in this country these days, you know. They have already begun to report about this case in our homeland. Oh, but not about the lyrics, so they didn't say anything about the lyrics. I was right. What is wrong, Mr. Justice? Your eyes, they are quite fierce all of a sudden. Machi is lying. Maybe it's time to show him proof that he's lying. And I have just the thing. Because Mr. Gavin said the same thing himself. The Borginian newspaper didn't say anything about the lyrics. I have here a Borginian newspaper, the Borginian Daily Bugle as a matter of fact. Indeed, there is a feature article about the case. Could you read this for me, Machi? That's right, it doesn't mention the lyrics. But what is this all about? I'm sorry, Machi. You couldn't have read about the lyrics in a Borginian newspaper. Well, he's a liar. Doesn't make him look good. What does this mean? But I don't see how it's possible. Ah, I know. He must have heard the lyrics when the police were doing their questioning. Yes. Not possible. The subject of the lyrics was not brought up in police questioning. I read the full report myself. So, the lyrics weren't in the newspaper and the police didn't mention them. The only place you could have heard them was in this courtroom. In English, no less. The witness will explain himself. Machi says, yes? It is true I read the newspaper, but this is not where I learned of the lyrics. I was mistaken. Now I remember. You remember? He says he heard of the lyrics from me. But what? Is this true, Lamoureux? Yes, I'm afraid I had forgotten it myself. Then it looks like our forehead's been jumping to conclusions again. It seems so, yes. No. I was onto something. I know it. I can't let this chance slip away. Time is an issue today. Mr. Justice, are you finished with the cross-examination? What are you gonna do, Apollo? If I'm gonna keep on cross-examining, I better have an angle of attack. Or else. My bracelet's still reacting. Your Honor, please allow me to continue. If you must, you must. Very well, witness. I understand. It was I who explained the crime followed the song. It was I who explained that the crime followed the song.
Gotcha!
Lamoureux. I'm currently cross-examining Machi. Why should you be uncertain? Me? Uncertain? Yes, you swallowed the very moment you told the court it was I who explained. I see there is little point in trying to hide anything from you. Lamoureux, are you indeed protecting someone? That is not a question with a simple answer. To tell the truth, I do not believe it myself. Then allow me to answer it for you. Lamoureux, you're protecting... Well, it's none other than Machi.
Take that!
Lamoureux, you're protecting Machi. That's why you lied and told us that you had explained how the crime followed the song. I don't fault you for trying to help, but this is not the way. Machi, I believe you didn't do it, really. I trust you. But you've lied to us twice, and now you have Lamoureux lying on your behalf. If this is going to work, you have to trust me too. Your two lies cover a simple truth. You understand English, you have to. This is getting interesting. Witness, is this true? Do you understand English? Yes, a little, only. But what? First he could see, now he can talk. And you did not know about this, Lamberer? No, I did not. It is quite a surprise. How many secrets is this witness hiding? This is last. Machi, could you tell us what really happened? No shooting. I did no shooting. So you went in the dressing room when I heard those 2 gunshots, correct? Apparently the answer to that question isn't simple either. I was in dressing room, behind desk, manager, he on floor. Which would it be after the shooting, right? Which would be after the shooting, right? Then there is voice. Voice, or voices. Was it you and Emma, Apollo? So when Machi went in the dressing room, Mr. Latouche had already been shot. And then we came to the door. Panel high up, I take off. Run away, run away. So it was you who escaped through that air vent. As the prosecution has upheld all along, no less. The defendant has admitted to being at the scene. Like we take this as a confession?
Objection!
No, he's clearly denied that he did it. I know shooting, manager on floor, already on floor.
Objection!
The victim had already been shot, you say? I find that hard to believe. The defendant understood the song lyrics, he was at the scene of the crime. This can only mean one thing, he is the shooter. Does the defendant have anything to say to this? He's clammed up, Apollo. Then let's ask Mr. Justice. Will you require any further testimony from the witness? Is that it? Is there nothing I can get him to testify about? Wait, no, of course there is. What is this cocoon, anyway? The cocoon, the silk, is a potent cure. A cure? Well, Machi, are you a smuggler? He won't tell me. That cocoon has to have something to do with this. Machi, please, tell us the truth, for your own sake. No, no more speak. Not to any of you. So much for your precious trust there, Forehead. Hey, you were the one who didn't believe him. Regardless, this brings us to an impasse. It does seem that the defense and defendant are at odds. I doubt we are likely to learn anything more of value should this continue. I see no other course but to declare a 5-minute recess. The defense will work things out with the defendant so that we might proceed. July 10th, 11:23 a.m. District Court, Defendant Lobby number 2. And that is where I'm going to call it here. The next time I see you guys, we're going to try to get and try to make sense of these, try to come to terms, I should say, with all that has been revealed in just these 20 or so minutes of recording. But hopefully we can get and at least calm Machi down a little bit, maybe even speak to him a little bit, or maybe Lamberer after the recess. So hopefully we can get some more information specifically about this cocoon that's supposed to cure incuratus. So hopefully we'll be doing that here in the next episode. Hopefully you guys are looking forward to that. But thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you guys are enjoying the series so far. I'll be seeing you guys again next time.